Good evening, all you beautiful bastards. It is I, the lovely and talented Elder God Bones, joined with the scrumptious and delicious Sibs, in for another installment of Cosmo Voyage. Well, eventually. There's actually something else I want to get into, but I'll let Sibs say hi first.
Hello.
So, hello, everybody. Yeah, today is another installment of Cosmo Voyage, but first, there's actually a couple of things that I want to go over because some stuff actually happened today that's worth mentioning. I'm totally like spontaneously spinning this on you because I totally forgot about it until we decided to go live. 4090 specs. Thank you. And actually, not even congrats on the job. I got another job today.
He got a different job.
Yes, I was offered. I got interviewed, and I was offered the job halfway through my interview before the interview was even done. So I got a job for my job to get a job. But yes, 4090.
The specs have been out. Do you mean benchmarks?
Yeah. Benchmark tests came out, were finally lifted from their non-disclosure agreement because it's not a fucking embargo.
It's an embargo. That's how the
I don't give a shit.
vendors listed as, and
I don't give a fuck. They're using the wrong terminology, and we will correct them. We forced the entertainment industry to redo the Sonic movie so he didn't look like a moron. We could change the gaming industry to use the correct proper term and use English. And leave Chris Pratt the fuck alone. He sounds like
I'm assuming they do that because international stuff.
Still a NDAs exist outside of the US too.
I understand, but they can still call it an embargo.
Who are you embargoing it from?
The public.
Then it's a non-disclosure agreement. What goods are you embargoing? What are you preventing?
Graphics cards.
No, that would be an embargo on sales.
Right. So there's an embargo on information and sales, and they generally lift at the same time. So it can be used two-side because the sales embargo ends at the same time as the benchmarks embargo.
Yeah. But
that's why it's listed that way.
Either way, the non-disclosure agreement was lifted, and they were able to finally disclose benchmarking stuff. And holy fucking good Christ, the 4090 can natively run Cyberpunk 2077 at 4K Ultra without DLSS at over 100 frames a second.
God damn, I might finally actually be able to push games to their full potential on this monitor if I get one.
Oh my god. Like period. Bar none. That's impressive. At 4K Ultra, no DLSS. No DLSS at all. I think it was like 144 was top. Hey Natsu, welcome. But
hey,
can
Natsu,
it run Crisis? I mean, yes, it can run Crisis.
Yes, now, it can run Crisis because the 3090 could run Crisis just on the graphics card, with the graphics card doing the CPU and GPU. Like,
and then
a 3090 by itself is powerful enough to just run all of Crisis. They did it. Where it was handling the CPU, the graphics, the RAM, everything was self-contained in the 3090. So yes, it can run Crisis.
Thermally, the 4090 runs cooler than a 3090.
It's also as big as a Series S.
I mean, I understand that. Like, it's huge.
Big.
It's fucking massive.
And then it's like that thick.
It's it it is a
3.75. It is a 4-bay card, basically.
Oh yeah, I have a 3-bay card. My 3090 is a 3-bay. Yeah. But it's still the Asus Tough Gaming is 3.
Yeah, no. I know it is. I'm saying I think some of them are actually 3-bay. The 2.75, like yours would be. and I think some of them are 3.75,
Yeah.
just depending.
My old card, my Gigabyte 1070 is a 2-bay.
Oh, so I was reading an article going more in depth as to why EVGA left NVIDIA. It's because over the last 10 years, their profit margins on GPUs went from around 40% to less than 10%.
Yeah, I wouldn't fucking do that. But
At
Natsu doing pretty
retail,
good.
at retail, that's not including them having to price cut to compete with the Founders Edition cards.
Fuck that.
So apparently EVGA had started losing money on the graphics cards because of how Nvidia was doing things. Meanwhile, AIB profit margins were going down. Nvidia's went up from about 40% to about 70% profit margin.
Well, yeah, if you're selling your own brand, you don't have to worry about an AIB.
Oh,
Period.
no, absolutely, I understand. But the fact remains that so they were always getting about a 10% margin over the AIBs, but then they knocked AIBs to around 10% profit margin before they had to compete with the OEM as bad as they did.
Yeah.
While Nvidia's went up from about 40 to about 80% to 80 to 90% profit margin. They cut them down from about 40 to 10%.
That's nuts. I mean,
So
that's
like
just
if
that's
you look,
bullshit.
so like if this top bar is Nvidia and this bottom bar is I gotta see how it's actually doing it on the screen. And this bottom bar is AIBs. The graph goes like that on profit margin.
That's nuts. That's so.
Oh, I had that backwards because.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I knew what you meant.
But, right, like no, that was the despicable thing, is that Nvidia was making them cut their margins while simultaneously increasing their own.
Yeah, I mean that transcends into other fields. Like my wife
Yes,
works
it does.
in. Well, it more so than you realize. So my wife works in. She makes fake teeth. So they have to buy materials to make the product, and then it's being purchased from a dentist. That dentist is reducing the amount of money they want to pay, while the manufacturer of their equipment is increasing their costs.
Yeah.
And so yeah, they're getting squeezed from both, and there's nothing you can do.
Because generally what AIBs will do is they're just given the baseline specs. They're not really given the price points.
Yeah.
And they're not given the specs till after Nvidia announces them. So then what they have to do is their costs are way higher because they're having to mass produce these things super quickly, design them super quickly, and if they sell it at the same MSRP as the Founders Editions, they're selling them at like a 20% loss.
Yeah. No, it's not good any which way you cut it.
That's why if you look at it, the Asus Strix, it's been hard to find non-OC prices, but I believe non-OC price on the 4090 is like 1,800, and then it's 2,000 for the OC one versus 1,600. And even then, with it being $200 more and $400 more on the OC edition, their margins are only like 8 to 20%. Like,
yeah, it's
super low.
It's asinine. It's absolutely bullshit. What else? Oh, so no card, none of them. None of the AIBs that haven't been released yet can run
DLSS tomorrow.
Yeah, none of them can run DLSS 3.0. None. They all crash. They can't launch a single fucking game.
Also, keep in mind, DLSS 3.0 is only coming to the 40 cards, not to the 30 or 20s. Whereas the 20 series cards did get DLSS 2.0.
Yeah. So, yeah, the fact that these brand new cards out of the gate. Now, that could just be simply a driver update and the issue's fixed. That's an easy, potentially an easy fix. But the fact that you're launching these in the same day, your AI-powered, tomfoolery doesn't work.
Well, again, this goes back to the AIBs aren't given any time to design these.
Nvidia's own cards don't work. The Founders Edition cards will not run DLSS 3.0.
Well, you know
Period.
what? They apparently don't need it.
I mean, clearly, but it would still be neat to see. I mean, I know we will eventually, but see the difference between DLSS 2.0 and DLSS 3.0, because you need to have that side-by-side comparison with real-world, like actual benchmarks ran by non-biased people.
So, like LTTJ's 2 cents.
Yeah. So that was just
Gamers Nexus.
fuck. Gamers Nexus cut a 4090 in half.
Are you surprised? Tech Jesus does a lot of crazy shit.
I mean, yeah. Well, I guess I should say they cut it in half with the lead designer of the 4090.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the Nintendo, the Wii OMG WTF mod?
No.
Or sorry, the OMG WTF trim. That's literally what they call it. Is the OMG WTF trim? Because let me find some. There, I sent you the image. If you want to pull that up above me, that what's in red is what they keep from the OMG WTF trim.
Oh.
That's from the Wii motherboard. Now, granted, there are 2 things that have to be moved. I believe it's the clock and the Bluetooth module have to be moved from the other side of the board, but they can shave off that much of it and have a functional Wii. That's why it's been so easy to make portable Wiis.
Oh my god.
Because of the OMG WTF trim. And you can see in the top left-hand corner, that is legitimately what they call it. The OMG WTF.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's weird. But yeah, no, that was kind of since it launched today, that I wanted to at least touch base with.
Oh, tomorrow.
No, you literally could buy a 3090 or 4090 today. They went on sale today.
Maybe directly from Nvidia, but the AIBs don't.
No, I mean, Founders Editions. You would, if they were in stock at Best Buy here in Cedar Rapids, could go buy one.
And you didn't buy me one?
Oh, I didn't buy myself one. I don't want one.
You could have bought yourself one.
You
could have bought yourself one and given me your 3090.
No. No. I'm okay.
I'm still gonna wait to see what AMD has in November before I decide to do any kind of upgrades.
Going to be interesting to see how that
because when Fidelity Super Resolution came out, I mean, granted, it took forever to come out, and that was their biggest problem. But when FSR came out, like, it was waffle stomping DLSS 2.0.
Sure. So here's the other issue. On a sheer numbers category, the 4090 is 2 to 3 times faster than a 3090 and a 6900 XT. A 3090, well, yeah, no, they did everything I was reading was baseline 3090. They were not doing TI.
If you look at their website, the graphs that they show on the NVIDIA website does do direct comparisons to the 3090.
That's great, but I don't care what NVIDIA says about their own product. That's the same as Apple saying it's better than the iPhone 12. I don't fucking care about that. You're making shit up now. I'm
so glad you interrupted me there. What I was saying is that with DLSS 3.0 versus 2.0, NVIDIA is advertising anywhere from 2 to over 4 times the performance of a 3090 Ti.
Yeah, no, I understand. They're trying to. So I guess the reason why, like, content creators like JS2 Cents, LTT, they're not reviewing a 3090 Ti against it because it's not flagship, because they're going to put out a Ti model.
Yeah.
And since they're going to put out a Ti, they're going to put out a Ti model. It's no longer, the 4090 is no longer going to be flagship. So you're not comparing apples to apples. So when the 4090 Ti comes out, then they'll compare it to a 3090 Ti, but they're still comparing it to a baseline 3090 But even baseline 3090 and a 6900 XT, the 4090 just walks the fucking floor. I mean, it's the same. You're almost doubling the amount of CUDA cores. It's still the same amount of RAM. It's still GDDR6, but it's nuts. I'm forgetting the specs off the top of my head right now. I gotta pull them up.
So because keep in mind the 6950 XT was basically at 1440 and 4K. It was in between a 3090 and 3090 Ti, the 6950 XT after FSR. The shading units on the 6950 XT, it has 5,120 shading units and 320 TMUs, 128.
Yeah, where the 4090 has. Sorry, go ahead.
You can't compare these. These aren't these are comparing apples to oranges because the cores are completely different. The
Hey, Tammys, welcome.
Hey, Tammys, because you got to consider the 6950 XT. It has 5120 shading unit, whereas the 3090 has 10,496 and the 3090 Ti has 10,752, and the 6950 the 50 specifically, so their refresh card, basically their version of the Ti, sits between the 3090 and 3090 Ti at half the cores.
Yep.
Now, that being said, so the 5120 shading units is going to be bumped to 12,288. That's more than double the cores. The TMUs are going from 320 to 768. The ROPs are going from 128 to 256. The compute units and RT cores are going from 80 to 192. So it's more than double in everything. Whereas, and this isn't even including architecture improvements. Whereas the 4090 has a 60% increase. This is like 120% increase in core counts.
Yeah. No, like looking at specs between a 3090 and a 4090. So it's still the same amount of RAM. It's still the same type of RAM. The type of RAM that it's using is the exact same. That didn't change. What has changed is the clock speed of said card. So a 3090 clocks in at basic clock rate of 1.395 gigahertz with a boost clock of 1.695. The 4090 comes in at a base 2.235 gigahertz and a boost of 2.52 gigahertz. That's almost twice as fast.
Right. But on the same side of things, whenever we look at the AMD cards, so going from on the 3090 Ti, we'll just do that one because it's the higher end card, and I'm comparing it to a 6950, which would be the more appropriate card to compare. So 1.86 gigahertz to 2.52 gigahertz. That's about it's about 500. Yeah, around 500 megahertz or so.
Give or take a few, yeah.
No, sorry, 700 megahertz. So keep the 6950 XT base clock is 1925 megahertz, whereas the 7900, and again, this is all leaks and rumors, so if these turn out to be true, the base clock of the 7900 XT is going to be 2500 megahertz, which nets at that same 600 or so megahertz.
Yeah, but the thing
the boost clock, however, goes up to 2700, which is faster than the boost clock on the that is boost clock on the 4090. The boost clock is 2.52.
Yes, so it's still going to be, so even now we kind of are talking, I mean, we are literally talking about math. This is the gigahertz that it runs at, the higher the number,
We'll get to Cosmo
the faster.
Voyage soon, I promise.
Yes. This is just these launched the 4090 cards launched the 40 series cards literally launched today. So it's since we still cover tech stuff, I wanted to take a couple of minutes here and talk about it. Um the it doesn't change the fact that even with the 6950 versus a 3090, hey Guardian, welcome.
Hey, shot.
The 3090 still ends up being a better card.
Depending on where it's at. So at 1440 and 4K, the 6950 XT is right between a 3090 and a 3090 Ti with FRS or FSR.
Yes.
You got to think, I looked into a lot of these benchmarks because I was looking at, oh my God, I've got this 8K VR headset now. Holy shit. How am I going to run on this?
Well, you're going to need a 4090. I mean,
nope.
A 4090.
Or a 7900.
Yeah, or a 7900, because the 4090 could probably do 8K gaming at 60 FPS.
Well, you got to think.
Depending on the game.
Yes, it is 2 4K displays, but it's really only what it has to render is basically 6K because there's going to be overlap in the middle.
Well, yes.
So it doesn't have to render a full 8K. It just has to push out that display. It's like if you're pushing Google Chrome to an 8K monitor, the fucking GT 1030 can probably do that.
I'm sure, but it's more you still want to engineer for overhead. Just because it'll run
absolutely.
doesn't mean it'll run well.
Well, you got to think my 2080 Ti is still, granted, not fantastic, and this is before I started doing overclocking. It was still pushing native, not upscale, because the headset does have the option to do upscale at 110 hertz. I was able to get about 74, 75 FPS on native 4K on the 2080 Ti. So realistically, I could go to a 3080 Ti, which is about a 30% performance increase, or a 3090 or 3090 Ti, and it'll run it just fine. I'm going to wait to see what AMD has up their sleeves, because in all honesty, we had leaks like this before when Ryzen was originally getting leaked, and then they blew the leaks out of the water when they took the stage.
True.
So they could very well have something even more, because based off their code names, the 7900 could actually be what the 7800 ends up being, and the 7900 could be something more amazing. We don't know.
Yeah. Well, because at the end of the day, would you look at the performance jump from the 2080 to the 3090, or the 2080 Ti, the 2080 Ti versus the 3090, the amount of performance increase is not proportional from 3090 to 4090.
No, I understand that completely. And what I'm saying is, for what I'm running, a 3080 Ti would be more than sufficient, because you got to think there's only a 7% performance difference on benchmarks between a 3080 Ti and a 3090.
We are talking about PC stuff, yes. It'll be interesting to see, because if they don't launch if it doesn't come close to the 4090, Team Red ain't gonna win this.
Oh, there's no way that it can't be close to a 4090. If these numbers come out the way that they are, even not doing architecture improvement and stuff like that, from RDNA 2 to RDNA 3, just sheer numbers game, you got to think is about a 5 to 13% performance difference between 6950 XT and a 3090 Ti, and then it's 2 times the performance on a 4090 at 60% more cores. So again, that does have architecture improvements going into it. So twice the performance. This has more than double the core, so just brute strength. Don't be on par with a 4090, because it's going to double the performance.
That means if it's not very well laid out, that means nothing. I'm not going to say I'm
from not a numbers game. That's all we have to go through. But
sure, from
a pure numbers game, you would expect the 4090 to only get a 60% boost, but it's a 100% to 200% boost. That's 60% more cores. This one has, it's like 110, somewhere between 105 and 120% core increase. I mean, that's going to be at, around 110 to 120% performance, not including any architectural
Yeah,
improvements. So I mean, and that does put it on par with the 4090.
time will
Again,
tell.
not accounting for DLSS because DLSS isn't working. So brute force and brute numbers, it looks like it's going to be a very good card. Now, if RDNA 3 has the improvements that leaks and things are suggesting, then this could absolutely fucking raffle stomp. And when I say raffle stomp, I mean because we know the price is going to be lower.
Potentially.
Uh,
I don't put it past that.
so here's part of the reason why I'm about 85% confident that it'll be cheaper. The 3090 series or the 30 series graphics cards, Nvidia switched from TSMC to Samsung
Oh yeah,
for
and
their
they
chip
switched back.
manufacturing,
I
and then they
totally
switched
get
back. So
that.
they're not going to get any kind of loyalty discount. And you got to think, AMD owns a pretty big share of TSMC,
Okay.
and they're going to get a huge bulk discount because all their CPUs are manufactured by TSMC.
Because they're not going to get a discount if they own majority shareholder, they ain't getting a discount. They're just getting it at a cheaper cost because they're majority shareholder. That's not a
They
discount.
might not be majority shareholder. They might be like majority customer. I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah,
I know that they've got really tight ties with TSMC. So if their cost is lower, and they know that the best way to beat Nvidia at this is going to be outdoing performance, which from a numbers game, it looks like they'll be pretty on par. So that's going to be a plus for them. And if they can get it $200-300 cheaper, that would be raffle stomp territory in my opinion, because a lot of people are thinking that the 7900 is going to retail for $1199, is what leaks are suggesting.
we'll see. And Smada, it won't last for another decade. It's now 3 series behind. I won't be surprised within the next year they drop driver support on it. That's
it probably has another good 4 or 5 years of driver support.
potentially, but the fact of the matter remains,
I think they're still making drivers for like 600 and 700 series cards.
Possibly. But the fact of the matter remains, Smada, at the end of the day, if you're really thinking about doing an upgrade, go buy an ARC 770. It's $329 USD and it's comparable to a 3060. You're a little bit on the bleeding edge because you're buying first generation of something, but you're not having to deal with any sort of markup because Intel's making a stab. But it's
Just
on par with the
Titan
3060.
Was the first thing to come out. Yeah. So the Titan, the OG Titan, which you got to think came out in between the 700 series and the 900 series cards, just had an update on August 2nd.
Yeah, but a Titan is a workstation card.
The original Titans were not. They were purely marketed as gaming cards. The original Titans. Looking at the original GTX Titan. Before the black, before the X. And before the XP and the Titan V and the Titan RTX. The original Titan was marketed as a gaming card.
Okay.
But I'll just go for 680 because it was a pretty popular card. Yep. 680. Same date for drivers. How far back does it go? I wonder if the 400 series cards are still getting updates. That would be amazing.
Let's see.
No, last update for 400 was March 27th of 18.
Where are we? Oh, there we go.
Anyways, we should probably get to Cosmo Voyage.
Yeah, the most recent 30. Okay. Yeah. You can download a GTX 16 series notebook.
But the 16 series came out alongside the 20 series. It's not saying a whole lot.
No.
Let me see if when the last update to 500 series was. 600 series got an update recently, which says a lot.
I mean, Nvidia is known for their support of their older video card models for a quite extended period of time.
So it looks like the 600 series is the only one that is the oldest card that got updates still. And the 680, which is the one I searched for, was released on March 22nd of 2012. So a decade.
Yeah.
So he might still get, no, not a decade from now, but
he may get a few more years out of it. We'll see how the paradigm of everything shifts with the releasing of everything and how businesses may end up cutting back on shit.
Right.
That's my thing there.
Let's also consider though that the 7000 series is less power hungry than the 4090. The 7900 is leaked to be less power hungry. Now would look like a bad thing, except for the fact that every year with Ryzen and every year with RDNA, well, there's been one RDNA refresh. It went from 1 to 2. RDNA 2 was way more power efficient, and each year of Ryzen has gotten way more power efficient as well.
Yeah.
So,
because I mean the power consumption of the 3090 versus the 4090 didn't change. They're the same.
No.
So that's
they're the same. So the 6950 XT, its power consumption 35 watts higher on the 6950 XT. So I don't know. It could be similar.
There's no way on God's green earth it's going to be less. That's for damn sure.
No, but again, this is all leaks. So I mean,
yeah,
the leak stuff is not going to be an official thing. So whenever they plug it into a wall out, and they're like, yeah, it's pulling roughly 300 watts. It's like saying I can plug in my computer into the wall, and it'll probably say that it's pulling 240 watts.
Yeah.
But whenever I load up a game, it's going to ramp up to 700.
Yeah.
Again, leaks aren't legal, nor are they necessarily reliable for finer detail.
Well, you shouldn't treat a leak with a grain of salt.
Right. You can expect certain things like core counts to be semi-accurate, because a lot of times these leaks will have like board information and stuff like that, like hardware info stuff along with them. But yeah. Anyways,
either way, moving on. We got that out of the way. It's time
for some
bullshit.
You're gonna love it. It's time for
Cosmo Voyage. Dun, 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 dun.
You got that part down.
Hey!
When we last left our dumbass commander, Quirk, he went around to the mod bays that he had gotten installed on the USS Travago, also known as the Quirk's Prestige. He had selected the single bay fighter hangar, the production bay, the engineering bay, the warehouse expansion, and Captain Minkle's lab.
Yep. And the last thing I had done is I had just went and talked to her about her
we
bay.
sing every time.
Yeah, literally Cosmo Voyage has its own entry, and when we actually hit it together, we actually harmonize fairly well, for that matter.
Wow, band students harmonizing? Who would have thunk it?
What the hell? We're not tone deaf.
Well, that's because you're harmonizing to me, because I'm a trumpet, so I don't have to harmonize.
No.
I'm not wrong. Trumpets don't harmonize. Everything else harmonizes around the trumpet, because otherwise we'll just play louder. I'm not wrong.
Until you're told to take it down a notch, and then you're wrong.
Yeah, and then, the marching band gets back out there. We ignore all of that.
Yep. And then
what are dynamics to a trumpet? It's fortissimo or nothing.
And then your review comes in, and the trumpets were too loud. fuckers, quiet down, and then you do. So then you're still wrong. So, gotcha.
You may have me there, but
Are you still gonna say fuck it and do it anyways? Yes.
yeah, absolutely, because we still get a good we still always got a great brass score. And also, I'm sorry, but on trumpet, whenever you're hitting a high C, it's either loud or it doesn't come out. There's
I
no
mean,
in between.
there are absolutely certain notes that you can't, just due to the breath support that's needed. There's no way you're playing.
Because common misconception, it takes more air to play quietly.
Yes.
It's just way more controlled. So whenever you're getting that high, it gets to a point where you're using so much air that how it comes out is how it's going to
Come out. Yeah, it's just, is
like,
it loud? Yes. Can you make it louder? Yes. Can you make it sound good? Maybe.
If you make it louder, you can probably make it sound a little better. If you make it quieter, it's going to sound like dog shit and go really flat. It's just like at the last thing I did at U of L. We were at Nissan Stadium in Nashville, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. This is probably the last time I'm going to get to play this song. So I just went for it. It was supposed to be high C's. I hit a double high G. Or as I like to call it, Omega G.
Like,
and I just remember I took it off my lips. I was out of breath, and I was the only trumpet in the second row. And I see every single first trumpet just turn around like, what in God's name?
What was that?
Because we had an award that we would just, like in name award that we would pass around to everybody that we would call the Maynard Award. Maynard Ferguson, Birdland.
Yeah.
And so occasionally after practice, we would just see how high we could go. And I think the highest anyone got was a double high B flat, maybe double high C. And they were like, all right, he's the Maynard of the year. And then that happened. They were like, you motherfucker, you got the Maynard.
You fucking shitbag.
They were like, you got the Maynard. Can you do that again for the fight song? And I was like, fuck no, I don't even think I could play the fight song at this point.
Breath, what's that? I have no idea what that means. What that is.
Chops, what are those? My lips are literally bleeding.
Yeah, but I digress. Getting back into Cosmo Voyage.
Yes. So he checked on the different compartments. They are heading towards the planet Bulgaria, which had the green people. Because you want to fuck a blue alien?
No, it would be green. So the Bulgaria would be the blue people.
Okay, yeah, you want to fuck a green alien, so they're the blue people.
Yeah, they're the blue people. They're the people with the giant Cadillacs.
Yes, they are the space caddies.
Yes. Yes.
So rendezvousing over there, and they're also the ones that you can barely step on the planet because they've got 3 times Earth gravity.
Gravity, yes.
And Huge Reg is just like, this is fine.
I'm just gonna work on this like it's nothing.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, that absolute brick shit house that's 17'6" and 14,713 pounds of pure muscle. When I say pure muscle, like 5% body fat. Which, granted, muscle weighs more than fat anyway, but still. I digress. He's not a beefcake anymore. He's like a brick shit house. He's like a beef wedding cake. 8-layer.
It is an 8-tiered cake. Sibsy to practice his pianissimo.
That's not possible on a trumpet. Unless I go way under the scale. Another common misconception, people think that the best way to build high range is to just try and build high range. No, the better you get at a lower register, the easier it gets in the high register.
Yeah, because you have to use more breath to make low notes than you do high notes.
Correct.
Which is why when in most a cappella groups, the guy that sings bass stands still.
Yep. And also why they generally will push on their diaphragm so that they can get more air out.
Well, they can expel air faster, not necessarily more.
You know what I mean, though.
But that's also why Pentatonics is such an amazing a cappella group, because not only is he singing bass, but he's jumping around all nimbly bimbly like a cat.
Yeah.
Pentatonics is fucking amazing.
Oh god, I love them so much. Anyways, but yeah, so what I would actually do to build my range is I would build my upper register with a deep cup, which is generally better for playing low notes, and I would build my lower register with a super shallow cup, which is better for high notes. That's how I would build register, do an opposite sort of thing there.
Mm-hmm.
And then whenever I would actually play pieces at pep band games, I would just stick with the shallow one, because then it made those high notes come out crisper. I remember my old band director, he was asking, "Oh, what are you playing on?" I was like, "Oh, 16A 4A or 6A 4A, whatever it was." He was like, "No, don't even warm up with that. It'll sound like laser beams." And then he went and took a bathroom break, and when he did, I switched out the mouthpiece real quick, and then did the rest of the lesson. And he was like, "Man, you're doing really well," and stuff like that. And he was like, "Wait a minute, doesn't your 3C have a gold rim?" And I was like, "Yep, this is my 16A 4A." No, it was a 14A 4A. And he was like, "Oh my god." He's like, "I told you you'd sound like laser beams." I was like, "You just complimented how much better my tone got." Fuck you. He was like, "I don't understand. That's not possible." I was like, "I build low range with the 14A 4A. I build high range with the 3C."
Yep.
Anyways, heading
Moving
towards
on.
Planet Bulgaria to pick up a new crew assignment. They've given you estimates that you'll get about 148 new crew members.
Sounds about right. Yeah, because it'll bring us just shy of 1,000, right?
Yeah, it'll put you at 900, 148. Well, they said that you've been approved for 900 range crew.
And ship's good for 22 or 2,300 total.
It's like 2,500, I think, maybe. I don't
Okay.
know. I'll write it out eventually.
Eventually, we'll get there.
You know, I'm just gonna say 3,200 max. Okay, retcon myself. I've written it down. 3,200 max.
Well, we didn't have it written down before, so you can't really retcon it when we don't have conical notation of it yet.
But I did say some number last time. So retcon, now it's a 3,200.
So what's gonna happen when Huge Reg outgrows the ship?
Well, you got to think. So they already built the main deck for him, and it was 30
feet, and he's 17 feet tall right now.
Right, and you got to think, when he joined your crew, he was 6'11", and it's been like 4 years.
What's gonna happen when he outgrows this ship?
Well, I guess it's a good thing that you can retrofit your ship.
I can't make the ship taller.
You know what? No, I'm not going to tell you how that has to work. You can figure that out for your own when that time comes. Because there is a way. There's a very easy way. You're just not thinking about it.
I'm just thinking about everything, because if everything's set at 30 feet on his floor, you can't move the entire floor up or down.
Why can't you?
Really?
There's definitely a way to do it.
Turn the ship 90 degrees.
The ceilings on the Reg deck are actually taller than they are wide. So no.
Oh god. What he's saying is the Reg deck goes from turn it wrong. Yeah, you were thinking barrel roll. I instantly thought vertical.
Okay. Yeah, we're same thinking, different axis.
No,
okay, you know what? No, I'm not going to tell you, because there is a very simple solution to this, and I've given you all the pieces, but you haven't figured it out.
Well, considering I'm thinking of this as also you'd have to make the external hull larger.
Yeah.
You aren't doing that, because you can't just section move stuff. You have to move it all at once, and that is not possible in the vacuum of space.
Yes, it is. You're just thinking about it in the wrong way.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it logically.
You're thinking about it from this point of view. It is very possible and very logical from this point of view.
Does that defy the laws? Does this point of view defy the laws of physics?
No, it doesn't. You know what? I'm going to tell you. I'm just going to tell you. And now you're going to have to go through all the role playing to do this. Otherwise, I'm just going to say, no, you didn't think of that.
Okay.
What you do is you use your production bay to add more floors to the top, make the new modules up there. So basically, you move the bottom ones to the top, and then you cut out the floor from the inside.
That would work.
You're thinking about it from the wrong point of view of just, oh, let me add gap here. No, you add more, then remove.
He's got us.
That's
there.
what I was saying. That's what I was saying. It's absolutely possible. You're just looking at it wrong.
A ship doesn't have
He doesn't have to keep being able to go onto the bridge. He's barely in the bridge as it is. You just have to expand the decks he has to go into. So his room, the hallway, and then the ceilings in the mess hall are already like 50 feet tall. Yeah, like I said, no, there's a very logical and possible way to do this. You're just looking at it wrong. Because my original point of view was that I was like, oh wait, no, they couldn't do that because they wouldn't be able to just expand the wall. And then I was like, what if they built on top of it and removed the floors from the inside? That would work.
Nope. Okay. I lose. You win. I got nothing. You're right.
Someone clip it. He admitted he was wrong.
I got nothing. I got nothing.
And worst case scenario, he could army crawl around. Hey,
only if we give him a giant cardboard box. Oh god.
Thank you, Shy. I don't like my hair.
90-degree ship is still best idea.
Not wrong. Just rotate entire ship 90 degrees, build out.
Hey, huge red. So we're gonna turn the ship 90 degrees. So you gotta lay down to walk around while we're gonna be perpendicular to you. So have fun with that.
Oh. Anyways,
so this is totally, it's random, but it's not random because it's part of everything because we're in space. You know how they say I think there was like a meme floating around about how Star Trek has the whole like space thing wrong because they're never pointing at one another. Because if you have a ship over here and a ship over there, they won't always be pointing towards one another because that's how they're depicted in all the movies and everything.
Yeah.
And someone thought about it and they're like, you know what? Star Trek was still right. Because it may not be correct from our perspective. From what we observe, they may be fucking cattywampus over here and something fucked up over here, but you're viewing it as you are part of the USS Enterprise, which from the Klingon bird of prey or whatever the case may be to the Enterprise, guess what that is? A straight fucking line. Because there's no point of reference in space.
Yeah, it's like in Ender's Game.
Such a good book. It's series.
That book is amazing. Whenever Ender is going through the strategies, he goes, well, it's space. Whatever direction you're facing, that determines down.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
Move what? Move seats? I can't really move seats. He's 9 hours away. So, like, that's not possible. Move, like, I can shift back and forth. I could spin in a circle. Move what? movie. Oh, yes, Ender's
Oh.
Game was a movie or is a movie, but it was a
I will say
book. Who
the
wrote Ender's
movie
Game?
adaptation, I think they did very well. They obviously cut out a lot of content, but I feel like they cut out the right content to cut.
Yeah, before I shove my foot in my mouth, I wanted to make sure. Orson Scott Card is probably one of my favorite sci-fi novelists. And if you have not read, and if you're into the sci-fi realm or genre,
Keep in mind, Ender's
please.
Game is like the third or fourth book, so.
Well, no, it's Ender's Game is the first. Then there's 3 after that.
No, dude, the whole series is like 7 books, I believe. I could be wrong. Yeah, no, I was wrong. You're right.
Yeah, it started with Ender's Game.
Oh, no, sorry. That's the publication order. If you look at the chronological chart,
Okay.
it goes Earth Unaware, The Fire, Earth Awakens, The Swarm, The Hive, The Queen's, Ender's Game. Ender's Game is book 7, 20.
Yes.
It's kind of like how
Jesus, I can't
the
believe.
first Chronicles of Narnia book was The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and it's book 3 or 4.
Odd.
So a lot of people will say that The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe was the first book, whereas in reality, publication-wise, yes, chronological. It's basically comparing it to Empire Strikes Back, or no, sorry, A New Hope.
Jesus,
Oh.
fuck! I'm just 20, but well, sorry, it is there's only 18 books currently.
Right. Yeah, 18 are currently out, but there's 20.
Yeah.
That are going to.
The 20, well, The Last Shadow says it was released in 2021, but there's not a citation for the amount of the amount of words in that novel. So
Let me see if it's available on like.
and I don't know if I would
Yeah, no.
consider.
Last Shadow is available on Amazon.
Oh, okay. Well, then it is out. The Queens, on the other hand, is not out. It is TBA. So it is. There are 20 supposed to be, but there are, and I guess this is where it gets interesting. So, oh, I guess it is written. Okay, never mind. Oh, okay. First meetings. It's not tech. It's okay.
Yeah, so it's all the same story, but it's different.
They're short
pieces.
stories. Yeah.
It's different pieces to it. It's like it's kind of like The Mandalorian is to Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. I cannot wait for Mando season 3. Oh my god.
I can't either.
The Mandalorian is Favreau is a goddamn genius.
I need to watch Andor. I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't watched that yet either. Have you watched Obi-Wan?
Yes, I watched Kenobi as it was coming out.
Okay.
I haven't finished The Bad Batch.
I have not watched The Bad Batch.
So I'd started it and I was keeping up with it each week, but then all the stuff with Verizon went down and that kind of distracted me a little bit.
I binged watched Kenobi in like 3 sittings because I'm like, it didn't hold my attention enough to want to watch it like the way I want to watch Mando, so I wasn't concerned.
Yeah, I thought the series was really well done.
It was really
okay. There are definite plot holes and stuff like that.
But there were also a lot of holes that were filled.
Right. One of the things that they do is that they do kind of fill that gap of, oh, well, why is Darth Vader so feared? They show his ruthlessness.
Oh yeah, dude.
But now a lot of people were saying, and I had to bring this up, and I actually rewatched Revenge of the Sith just to fact check myself. But a lot of people were like, Obi-Wan already knew that Anakin was Darth Vader. No, he did not know that. He only ever knew him as Anakin. Anakin never revealed himself as Darth Vader. Someone's like, but there were the cameras at the place when he killed the younglings. I'm like, yes, but never on any of those videos or anything is it said that he is Darth Vader. The only time that they mention him as Darth Vader is when Palpatine anoints him as Darth Vader.
Yes.
And that would have only been between Palpatine and Anakin.
Well, like at the spoilers for people that have not seen Obi-Wan Kenobi. If you're live, I'm sorry, don't care. For the next
mute, and we'll wave our hands in front of the screen.
Mute us for the next like 3 or 4 minutes so you don't have to hear it if you're still watching it. If you don't care about spoilers, this was your warning.
Yeah.
What? Boo that I'm actually considerate of people and I don't want to ruin something for them, even though it's been out for quite a while.
Boo because we're so far off track from Cosmo.
Yeah, but you know what? Suck my left testicle, bitch. I don't care.
Suck my right one.
Not at the same time. No. Also be really hard. But
no, you just have to step to your left.
But then there's still a thigh and two thighs and and basically.
I didn't say suck my right testicle at the same time.
I'm just okay. Oh, and I liked it. Well, Ender's Shadow is.
I've only read Ender's Game. I need to go back and read the whole series.
I have read.
But I've got like 7 Thrawn books to read first.
Let me look at that again, because I don't remember which ones. So, yeah, I have read everything from. I've read Ender's Game, Speak of the Dead, Xenocide, Children of the Mind, Ender's Shadow, which is a good book, Shadow of the Hedgeman, and Shadow Puppets. I have not read First Meeting or anything after that.
Yeah, no, because the reason why I was like, no, dude, it's like 7th in the series or 4th in the series was because whenever I read Ender Games, there were like 11 books out.
Yeah.
11 or 12. That's why I was like, no, dude.
I totally did not read them in chronological order.
But you read them in publication order, which is
yes.
not a bad thing to do.
Yeah. I think
the bad thing to do is if you read them out of chronological and out of publication.
Yes. So sorry, yes. Ender's Shadow is definitely a good book. Either way, what were we talking about before?
Kenobi, but let's get back to Cosmo
Village. No. Spoilers. So 2 minutes. The part where he says he's calling him Anakin, and then calls him Darth Vader. Darth. Yeah. Like that moment. And then with Hayden Christensen saying, telling Obi-Wan, you did not kill me. You did not do this. You did not
kill Anakin Skywalker.
I did. Yes. Holy fuck. That was probably the best part of that entire series. Granted, that whole episode was the best. Like, and I know that this is before Mando, so it's not possible, but straight up, I was wholeheartedly expecting Mando to make an appearance somewhere.
Yeah. Because you got to think, Mando takes place.
It takes place a significant amount of time past this.
After Kenobi. It takes place it takes place just a couple years after Sith.
I think it, but
because the Empire still has a presence.
But it's waning.
It is waning. But that would suggest that it'd only be a year or two after.
No, because they're in the Outer Rim, so it would be.
That's true.
That's there. There is.
They did focus on the Outer Rim quite a bit.
Yes.
Okay, it's 9 years after A New Hope.
Yeah.
5 years after the Emperor's defeat in Return of the Jedi. So, anyways, back to Cosmo Voyage.
Yes. So yeah, basically a decade. Mando takes place basically a decade after that. But
A decade after A New Hope.
yes.
So episode 4.
Yes.
It's 5 years after.
Yes. And Obi-Wan takes place
before Rogue One.
No. Rogue One is happening while at the end of the series, the very end, is Leia's ship being chased. It physically takes place right before A New Hope.
Kenobi? Leia is still a child in Kenobi.
Oh, that's right.
Leia is an adult in A New Hope.
That's true. Good point. I'm sorry.
It takes
what am
place
I thinking
like
of?
5-6 years.
What movie? What am I thinking of where the end of it is? It's literally
Solo.
That's right. It's
no,
it's not
you're
Solo.
No, Rogue One.
Well, I know Rogue One because Rogue One. Okay, whatever. Yeah.
And Solo's right before Rogue One, I think.
Yeah. So it's got to at least be because Anakin is maybe 8.
You mean Luke?
Luke. Sorry, yeah. Luke is
10. It's 10 years after the events of Revenge of the Sith.
So yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So then that places. Yeah.
So that puts it in 9 BBY. Then Solo is 10 BBY. So Solo is a year after.
Yeah. Rogue One was a. Oh, I just read something while I was getting my kids to sleep. So initially,
Rebels is 4 years after Kenobi.
Initially, when they were filming the X-wing squadron scene where they were flying into the Death Star, they were supposed to be red squadron and blue squadron. Well, they were having issues with the blue screen be with the blue squadron, so they changed them from blue to gold. Well, to cover themselves in the previous movie, in the newer movies, they had a red squadron, a gold squadron, and a blue squadron, and all of the blue squadron was wiped out. Random Star Wars tidbit of the day.
So Kenobi is 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, 9 years before A New Hope.
Okay, that would place them at 19.
It's pretty close to halfway between.
Okay, there you go.
Fun fact, Luke Skywalker has more airtime in Revenge of the Sith than in The Force Awakens. There is more footage of baby Luke than Luke Skywalker as an adult in The Force Awakens.
Granted, in The Force Awakens, his
you see him for 2 seconds.
But it was so awesome. Oh my god, that was the cinematography, the white sand and the red under earth, and then him force projecting himself, and then the lightsaber battle. And
that wasn't The Force Awakens. That was The Last Jedi.
Oh, that was The Last Jedi. You're right.
No, I'm talking The Force Awakens, so in episode 7.
Okay,
because you only see him for like the very last shot.
Yes.
There is more screen time of baby Luke in episode 3 than there is of Mark Hamill in The Force Awakens.
Did you see that? Speaking of Mark Hamill, did you see he went and worked at the In-N-Out that he originally worked at before he was a movie star?
No.
Yeah, he just for shits and giggles went and worked drive-through at the In-N-Out that he got fired from like 4 months before he landed the role for Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Like, does it matter? No. Is it kind of neat? Yes. Did people freak out when he was like, because Mark Hamill was the voice of the Joker. He's a very, very accomplished, vocal artist. and he was like using just flipping between stuff. He being a clown, and because that's why he got fired, because he was having fun while at drive-through. So yeah, I mean, I got yelled at for talking like Yoda when I was a general manager of an Arby's.
Anyways,
moving on.
Back to the Cosmo Voyage.
Cosmo Voyage.
Moving from Star Wars to a parody of Star
Trek. Thank you, Gene Roddenberry. We love you.
He loves you. I've not seen that much of Star Trek other than the newer movies, if I'm being honest. I appreciate it. I appreciate the pop culture icon it is. I'm just so ingrained into Star Wars that I don't have the time for Star Trek.
I can get that. I can understand.
You got to think, like...
I'm a Trekkie by birthright.
Every single book on my Kindle Paperwhite is a Star Wars book.
I'm
7
just a
of
Trekkie
them
by
are
birthright.
about Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Yes. There's some crazy ass fucking theories and canon shit. But either way, moving on. So yes, we are
heading towards Bulgaria.
Yeah, Bulgaria.
To get new crew members. That's basically where we're at. We reiterated that like 6 times.
Yes. I don't know if there's anything that needs to be done.
Got it. Just in case.
Oh, the asshole die?
The asshole die. I still have the metal die. They're in their heavy metal dice box.
Heavy metal.
Cardboard. That's what it says. D20 set. Heavy metal. Ultra Pro. Pink. Anyways. I love that it says randomized number layout. Which, I mean, the only rules for a die are that the opposite sides equal to the highest number plus 1. So like on a 20-sided die, it's not valid if the 20 and 1 are not exact opposite, and a standard 6-sided die is not accurate if the 6 and 1 are not on the opposite sides.
Oh. Neat.
Wasn't sure if you knew that.
No.
Yeah, the opposite sides have to equal n plus 1, n being the highest face value. So then you'll have 20 and 1 on the opposite sides, then 19 and 2, 18 and 3, so on and so forth, all the way down to 10 and 11. Other than that, it doesn't matter. That's randomized order. It doesn't matter. But the opposite sides do have to equal to n plus 1.
Ah. Okay.
Exactly.
Neat.
Yep.
I had no idea. Like I'm so new. The only words. The only experience I have when the role-playing game is playing RPGs, where the RNGesus rolling is taken care of electronically. It's not something I'm even... Is that your weed bag?
No. It's my dice bag.
Oh. You're like shaking it and it's not making any fucking noise because we can't hear
it. Was. My mic just wasn't picking it up.
We don't hear it, it's not making any fucking noise. Period.
No, this is my purple lined dice bag. And these dice are there's 2 sets in there. One is blue and silver. The other set is purple and silver. I know it's not showing well.
Pretty. Words are hard. Words are very hard.
Anyways. So, heading towards Bulgaria to get more crew members.
And it's 2 months.
2 months.
You're
going to be getting on the closest space station to Bulgaria, which is actually new construction. It's about... I mean,
going to Bulgaria. You already said this like 5 times.
I understand that.
Smada said it.
Smada. So you're heading towards Bulgaria. The new space station construction that is near there, it's about like 20-minute jump at max speed, which is like, I mean, it's close. A little bit faster than light.
It's close, but it's not close.
Right, it's a little bit faster than light, so it's 20 minutes at faster speed of light. So It's about 40 light minutes away.
Because and then to kind of equate that into distance, the Earth is 8 light minutes away from 8 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm going to be putting my foot up your ass is where it's going to be going.
Space Cadillacs.
8 minutes between Earth and the sun.
Yes, if the sun were to extinguish right now,
we wouldn't know for 8 minutes. We wouldn't
be able to see it for 8 minutes and 30 seconds.
And we would be fucked. I'll bite that. Actually, I think we would know because there wouldn't be a gravitational pull on the Earth, and it would jut off in a random direction. I feel like we would know instantly, but we wouldn't know why.
Well, the inertia would still be there. I'm just saying if the sun went out, not if it was just like if it hardened into a rock of the same mass and size, I guess.
Weird.
We wouldn't know for 8.5 minutes.
And then all of a sudden, dark.
Then all of a sudden, darkness, and then cold.
Black. Not even dark, just black. Because you'd have nothing. Because moonlight is just reflected sunlight. Which is why it's white.
Mm-hmm.
Which is that always perplexed me thinking about vampires. Because
what about vampires?
Starlight isn't enough to illuminate anything, so you'd have nothing. Since the Earth's
lights.
I mean, yes.
As long as they weren't powered by solar. Well, I mean, even then, there's backup.
But even that's gonna run out.
Yes.
No,
this is why nuclear is the way to go.
Yes. No, as far as because you can't. Vampires can't go out in the sun because the sun's rays kill them.
But the moonlight is fine. So here's my theory on that. So the moon is not bright in the same way that the sun is. So what my theory is because it reflects back white light because of the color of the moon.
Yeah, but the sun is white.
The sun is yellow.
No. The sun is white. The sun is not yellow. The sun gives off white light. You see it filtered through our atmosphere to be yellow. It is not white. Or is not yellow. It is white. The sun gives off white light.
Yep, no, you are correct.
It is reflecting the color of the sun. Thusly, it is the sun's rays bouncing off of it. It is just a basic mirror at that point in time. Thusly, it is just as deadly to vampires as sunlight from the sun.
Here's my theory then. It has to do with intensity of light.
Okay, I could buy that.
Because you got to think, and like in a lot of vampire movies, if we're going off movies, and I'm sure novels, a moonlight doesn't bother them. Lights inside the house doesn't kill them. But if you get a super bright flashlight, like a 10,000 lumen flashlight, so my guess is it has to do with the actual lumens.
Potentially, it's a really bad sunburn. Really bad.
Yeah.
Really bad.
Anyways, going towards the space Cadillacs. two months.
Okay, so we have 2 months.
I guess you could equate it to albinos, because albinos will severely sunburn very quickly, but they don't get moonburn. Are you looking it up?
No.
Anyways, 2 months.
Oh, I just realized I didn't pull my phone or my stream up with my phone.
Fine. We'll fix it in post.
I'll be right back. Something's in our front yard.
So while he's going to play lawn darts, how's everybody doing? If you're new here, please introduce yourself. If you're not new here, go ahead and say hello anyway. Interact with us, please. We thrive off of your existence in our stream. If you ever see me like looking up like this, it's because I've got my stream on my big TV above my main monitor. And if you ever see me looking to the right like this, I've got on my Cosmo Voyage notes here on the right side of my main monitor, and Discord's on the left side. So that's why. Because I can't really say it's on my right monitor or my left monitor, because it's all one big giant monitor. Hey, glad to hear you're doing well, Tammy's. And yeah, sleep sounds nice, but I'm probably going to pull an all-nighter so I can brute force fix my sleep schedule. I'll probably play Overwatch 2 after stream, which will be a good time, I think. It all depends. Sometimes it's a good time, sometimes it's not. Let's see. Some other stuff coming up with the stream. Thursday, I don't know if we're going to do games or Cosmo Voyage this coming Thursday. We've talked about switching Cosmo Voyage to our Thursday streams, but we might do it on Tuesday. Like, we might keep it on Tuesdays. Not 100% sure yet. We might play games Thursday. PC Building Sim comes out in a few hours, so even though it's not multiplayer, I would kind of like to talk about some things while we play PC Building Sim, just because I personally really enjoy it. I know that may not be your all's, main interest or anything like that, but we have listened. We do know that words are so difficult. It's amazing how difficult words are. Which is why we're kind of switching to where Cosmo Voyage is our main focus. Because we've seen that the majority of viewers enjoy Cosmo Voyage more than anything. So for those of you who may not be regulars to the stream or anything like that, we actually originally started as a podcast talk show. And this Cosmo Voyage actually originally started out as a 45-minute sub-segment of the talk show. And then things kind of changed when we had our season 1 finale, where I was like, all right, I've got big things for this. I need the full stream time. And you all really liked it. And then it kind of started growing. So then we were doing like an hour and 15. And then it just ended up being a thing where around the same time, we were trying to get our channel to affiliate. So we started playing games on Tuesdays to try and get to affiliate, and then we kept that and we started flip-flopping games in Cosmo Voyage, and now we've decided where we want Cosmo Voyage to be the every week thing. And then the talk show will kind of be integrated into whenever we play games. Personally, what I would like to do is do Cosmo Voyage every Thursday and every other Tuesday, and then the alternate Tuesdays we play games. That's what I would like to do. I don't know how Bones feels about that, but that's what I would like to do. Welcome back. What was in your front yard?
Garbage.
Gotcha. So, 2 months out, what are you going to do in the meantime?
I don't know. Hold on. My mind's still like something's in our fucking driveway. It was nothing to be concerned about. 2 months.
You know what various projects are going on around the ship.
We're going to be putting our foot up your ass, Smada. We know what various projects are going on. I don't know. How quickly do you think you can get removed from the channel?
We keep getting derailed, so we're recapping.
Not enough time's passed to check on Minkle because it's literally been the same day. I know she works fucking wonders, but she's not that good.
No. Yeah, that's why I was like, what are you going to do in the meantime? Because we're about to do a time skip.
I mean, I don't have to study for anything. I'm gonna take the time to train my portals and stuff.
Okay. So you're gonna do training by yourself at the portals, or?
Not gonna do training with fucking Tiny Reg. That's for fucking sure.
Well, yeah, Tiny Reg isn't allowed to leave his capsule.
No, I mean, I'm not gonna have him program to shoot me with fucking rubber bullets and shit.
I forgot about that. You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Honestly, I think I want to do it as a open invitation. So I want to open it up to whoever wants to come to the sub VTF and train. They have just under the forewarning, the guise of if you get injured, it's your own fucking fault.
Right. Yeah, because there's a virtually unlimited space in the sub VTF.
Yes. And so,
which is weird how that works, because you can walk significantly further away from another person in the sub VTF than there is space in the sub VTF.
Yeah, that's just weird.
It's like
we don't question
reality.
We don't question
warped perception. No, we don't.
We don't question how that works. But I rolled a 16.
You rolled a 16. What does asshole dice say? Okay. I mean, you're getting better at your portals. A few people do join you, but I mean, most people are pretty busy, and a lot of them end up doing practice with like experience with their job.
Yes.
So,
what did you roll? What did the asshole die roll?
a 6.
Oh, nice. Okay, so what does that translate into? How? Right now, I'm basically stuck at 8 feet, 4 feet either way.
That's not changing.
Oh.
Because that has to do with body mass.
Oh.
What you're doing is basically training your reflexes with it, and how quickly you can do the portaling, not range and stuff, because it's linked off your body mass.
Oh.
So that's why you can do it further away if you hold your arm out, because that's body mass.
I was under the assumption that I could train on how to actually do them.
No, you can train on like how to improve things like mobility and redirecting projectiles and stuff like that, but you can't make your portals any bigger.
Can I change what I want to do? Like do a month of one thing and then a month of another?
Make a roll.
I got a 14.
Sure.
Okay. Then I want to do that for a month, and then for the second month, I want to work on using more than 125% of my arm and legs.
All right, roll for me.
20.
Roll again.
12.
So that gives you a 32. I rolled double 17s. Should be 34.
Fuck. Bones reroll dice. Ah! Shit.
What was it?
8. Shit.
So you do it, and it doesn't go great. You can kind of do it, but you are very bad at it. In fact, you have a hard time adjusting back to 125%. So for the time being, you're back down to 115%.
Okay. So okay. I mean that's better than 100. That's still 15% better than 100.
True, but it's also 10% worse than 125%.
Sure, but it's not 100%. It could have completely failed, and I would have been.
Right, but look at it this way: you trained for a month in what was basically track and field, and got worse times.
Shut up. I think this die is turning into an asshole die.
Hey, you want to mail that to me?
No.
I'll mail you this one.
No.
I know what I'll do. I'll roll the asshole die for what you're doing, and whatever you do determines what I'm doing. Reverse card.
No.
Anyways, so yeah, the end of the 2 months gets there. This space station looks kind of weird.
Okay.
Not like the other USU space stations. It's very imagine like current sci-fi looks of space stations.
Yes.
Future space stations versus like 50s and 60s depictions of future space stations.
So it looks like 50s and 60s, like you're in the year 2020.
Yeah. So basically, like, it kind of fits the Bogardian's
Aesthetics.
Yeah. Of 50s jumped to the future. Well, 40s and 50s. But yeah. It's basically that. And you're like, ha. Neat.
Hey, there's my other teeth. Solar punk representation when? Never. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe you should join the Discord and put your own damn actual submission in for a character and create a new race.
So you dock into that space station and you are greeted by none other than First Ambassador
Ambassador
Kiefe. Hey.
Hello, Ambassador Kiefe. How are you doing? Long time no see.
I'm doing very well. As you can see, we finally have our own localized space station.
See that?
We do have some recruits for you, and I'm no longer the first ambassador. I'm actually now the space station commander.
Congratulations on the. I want to say, would you classify that as a promotion?
It's more like going from the judicial branch to the executive branch.
Okay, well then either way, sorry, I'm grabbing shit off my desk. Um
Bones peels his poop like a banana.
um well, either way, nonetheless, congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you. Didn't come with a pay raise.
I
Came with a
mean,
pay cut.
yeah. That's sometimes that happens. I
Well,
understand
it
that.
it 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 came from a pay cut in the sense that the space union voids currency.
Oh yeah, there's that too. Yes, you do make a valid point there. We don't have a centralized form of currency.
Yeah, currency in the union is reputation.
Yes.
But yeah, that's weird because now I've got all of this shit, and he throws out a bunch of Bulgarian money paper. He goes, I can make it rain as much as I want, and it doesn't mean shit.
Well, I'm sorry,
Not your
but yeah,
fault.
it by removing the currency, which I mean, I'm sure you've been very well acquainted with as to why. It removes an issue of greed because it's really hard to be greedy about something when you can't monetize it.
Yeah, it makes strip clubs weird.
You have strip. I mean, why wouldn't you have strip clubs? We should go.
Because I don't think they're the same as what you're thinking.
Okay. What are they? I mean, but still, we should go.
I mean, they don't get naked if that's what you're thinking.
I mean, not all of our strip clubs get naked.
Our most revealing strip club is still pretty closed.
I mean, still, it still would be. Good night, Tammy. Thank you for joining us.
Hi,
You have.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Like throwing away paper.
Don't do that.
I'm throwing like paper that I don't need.
Don't do that.
Why?
Eat it.
No.
Eat it.
No.
Young man.
Child. No. Well, either way, I still wouldn't mind observing your culture one day.
Oh, absolutely. I would love for you to experience some of the Bulgarian culture at some point. It's just a matter of when.
Today is not that day.
No, today is not that day.
Dude, strip clubs are like a Euro rotisserie place. Oh, Euro sounds so good right now. Oh man. God damn you, Smata.
He goes, so I know you were expecting a crew resupply, about 148.
Yeah.
They didn't send that.
Okay.
They sent 348.
Okay.
Which, for those of you doing math at home, that puts it at 1,200. No, sorry, 1,100.
Yeah. Okay. Did they explain any reason as to why?
They were looking at it and they realized that having over a third of the new crew members being security might be bad for morale.
You know what? That's a very valid point. I didn't even put two and two together that they would all be security. I don't think that was even
Over a third. It was like 55 of them were going to be security, which is more than a third, since it was going to be 148. So they kept the same 55, but they're giving you a lot more crew.
Yeah.
In various sectors.
16K carrying 7.
They also said that you're going to need to take some time for some crew restructuring.
Oh,
Well, because there's going to be with this. From what I've been briefed on the situation, obviously.
well, I would
Um,
hope so. You're the one informing me of the decisions that are being made because I have no idea. So yeah.
well, yes, but um, so new divisions, like because you got the new module, so you're going to have a production division. Engineering is obviously getting expanded, so you'll have basically another set of like reactor crew for that smaller reactor. You'll have more warehouse crew. Mika will actually get some dedicated, a few, not many, but a few dedicated lab assistants. Uh,
Oh,
the fighter hangar is going to obviously need pilots, mechanics, logistics, security, all of that stuff. So um, they so because new divisions are being made, that's kind of why. They're also going to giving you more medical staff so that you can kind of divide a bit more. They want you to train more surgeons for the mech suit program because they foresee incidents happening with this.
incidents. People getting injured by their mech suits or
No, no, no,
people.
no, 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 not by the mech suits, but uh, it's kind of like, and you can tell like he's talking completely different. Because I mean, it's been like what 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Tech got advanced, society got advanced, so he's talking a lot different. You can tell that he's struggling some because he's like, huh, 3 years ago I was making spaghetti on a stovetop. Now I hit a button and I have spaghetti.
Yes.
Also, side note, I was not saying spaghetti because of the channel name. That was just what came to mind at first. In my mind, I was actually picturing a bowl of oatmeal, but I couldn't place the word oatmeal. Spaghetti came to mind.
Oh man, that's good.
So, um, so, um, words. Please, words.
Words are hard. Yes.
What was I saying?
Something about
New divisions.
yes. And how I'm gonna have to be restructuring stuff.
Yeah. So they're going to leave that restructure up to you because you obviously know where things need to go. Oh, no, sorry. The complications with Mexicans. That's what we're about.
Yes.
It's one of those things where, like, if you've got 4 engines on a ship and then you add 6 more engines, things change because there's now 1,000 more things that can fail.
Okay.
So, standard injuries, if you were to fall down a staircase, you might break your arms. If you fall down a staircase with this, you might break the implant. Or break the mech suit. Or, there's more points of failure. So that's why they're wanting more trained surgeons. They're wanting a specialty in they're not it's not artificial intelligence. They're calling it augmentation integration.
Interesting that it's shortened to AI.
Yeah, which is why I had to specify it's not artificial intelligence, but it's it's
AI
abbreviation.
squared.
Its abbreviation is not actually going to be AI. It's going to be ArtInt.
Okay.
No, AugInt. Sorry.
For the
So
totally
augmentation
random,
integration.
but I found my other D20. And after just rolling it a couple of times, yeah, I'm pretty sure that heavy metal die is definitely an asshole die because I just rolled like 6 D20s in a row.
Sounds like you've got a way to die, my friend.
It's not a way. This came with a Dungeons and Dragons starter set. An 18, a 17, a nat 1 because it bounced off my ring, a 12. Sorry. That's a 9. Okay.
Yeah, metal die have a higher chance of being off-weighted because imperfections in metal.
Yeah.
Which, granted, there's imperfections in the resin, but air bubble and resin versus.
Oh, did I tell you I'm gonna start another business?
No, but we can talk about that later.
Okay.
Um, so
Has to do with dye. That's why I thought of it.
gotcha. I'll join you on that. Anyways, so Augment is going to be a new division in multiple categories. So they're going to have an engineering department for Augment, medical for Augment, logistics Augment. Um, Not necessarily security, just because security will eventually fully be augmented, whether by powers or mech suit. Um,
So they want us to segregate out.
No, what they want is a secondary specialty in some of these departments that is specifically for these mech suits and stuff like that.
Ah.
Oh,
Okay.
also that puts you at almost the new crew size puts you at almost a 50-50 split of powered versus non-powered. You've got 574 powered and 526 non-powered.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So
it's more so like you wouldn't want a reactor specialist working on the propulsion systems. You would want someone that's specialized in propulsion systems.
I mean, yeah, no, I can totally understand that.
Yeah, so that's where it is. So they're subdivisions of the different specialties. So that's why they're wanting an augmentation medical team, an augmentation logistics, augmentation engineering, because then they can also have a dedicated team to improving the mech suits, new designs for the mech suits, the customization of the mech suits, etc., etc. And also another side of the augmentation medical will be that they will do more research on the powered individuals to help further that research. So it's not just the mech suits, even though it is augmentation integration. Eventually, the hopes are that augmentation integration will include these powers. Oh, also out of game. It goes without saying, but you know that this space station is technically a black site.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's public knowledge, but most of it is black site clearance.
Okay.
So, like,
which explains
there,
why it's so far away from their planet.
Right. The staff has black site clearance. So, like, they can tell you things that are, because you're also black site, they can have so much knowledge of your ship because it's black site, but that doesn't bar them from, like, a normal research vessel going in. It's just, it allows them to be better suited for both sides of things because they're because of the black site.
It's a black site that's also a public spot.
Right. It's like I guess the better way to put it is the Grand Union Council. They're public, they'll interact with everything public, but they also have black site clearance, so they can interact with everything black site. So, like, yeah. Or I guess the better way to put it is Area 51. It's public knowledge, but no one really knows what goes on there.
Okay.
So
yeah, I mean, we're still standing in the entryway of, the causeway of boarding my
there's
ship.
no other ships here. But, no, you're actually on the station. Like, you're docked. You're actually on the station.
Okay.
You've been walking this whole time with it.
So I guess I should probably go meet all 348 of my crew.
Yes. They're currently getting packed. We actually have some briefing materials that we're going to go over first before we introduce you to them. because they said that given the way you run your ship, it would be better if you met them in the informal setting on the ship versus in a formal setting on the space station, because we do run this with a more formal command than you do.
Yeah, I definitely take a more of a, I don't want to say a laxed approach to it, because when business is business at the end of the day.
It's a more personal rather than a more business.
Yes.
Personal versus professional. I don't. Anyways.
Yes.
No, we do have a couple of briefings to go over in our briefing room, and then also, I mean, they're going to get moved in first and get settled on your ship while we take care of some stuff here.
Okay. Yeah. So, where do we need to go for the briefing?
Oh, hold on one second. I'm adding another thing here. So,
And I'm going to need a list of the 300, 200, 348 people of their names.
no. He does also say, by the way, 150 of these 348 are Bulgarians.
Oh, okay. So
Just you officially have a multiracial crew.
Yay. So actually kind of, that's awesome. But I have
950 humans, 150 Bulgarians.
So since our gravity is 3 times less than yours, how are they going to deal with the lack of gravity?
So the Space Union, this isn't a new technology, so you're kind of aware of this. It's just kind of in the back of your mind. They go, well, the Space Union already has stuff into place in the standard uniform for alien races to simulate different gravity pull.
Okay.
It's not perfect, so I think whereas our gravity is 3 times, this one's like 2.8 times gravity is what they get pulled on.
Okay. So
but that is integrated into their uniform, and you know this.
Yes. I'm more thinking of the long-term ramifications of that. And I guess I'm assuming that we're getting a science officer that's Bulgarian, because I wouldn't classify Huge Reg as human anymore, because I mean, you saw the man.
What is it that they classified him as? I forget. It's like uber human, something like that.
Yeah. So this is more like being able to deal with the physiology of having a now a multi-race crew. I'm my only concern long term is how it's going to affect your crew at even a 0.25 difference in gravity, because studies we have proven that if you're not in your correct gravity, you do have adverse effects.
Right, of course. So it's not a complete science, just because it's I think the exact number is like 2.873 times.
Okay.
It's it's very close. It's close enough. Are there adverse effects? Yes, but they're negligible.
Okay.
And the way it works is, and you actually know this, there's different linings inside the uniforms. It's like they've got different like metal plates around them, and the artificial gravity system in the ship, it reads basically the chip from that person's wrist unit, which is integrated throughout the whole uniform.
Okay.
Status updates and stuff like that, and it tells the ship pull harder on this person.
Oh.
Because technically the ships, what they can do is they can turn off gravity for individual beings.
Oh, okay. Cool. I this is my ship, and I didn't know this. This is something you learn every.
You knew it, but it's one of those things where like it's very rarely used, so it's like kind of in the back of your mind.
Yes.
Most of the people that do like the zero. No, shut up, Smata. Don't. No, stop it. I'm running the show here. Don't give him ideas.
I already thought of that.
Anyways, most of the people that use it are, and the way it was integrated like this, are going to be engineers. So like, you've got 30-foot ceilings in your main core. Or humans aren't the tallest race in the space union, so if you, nor are they the shortest. So if you get an engineer that's super short that has to replace, a conduit in the ceiling that's 15 feet above them, it's just easier to punch into their data pad and then
Boop.
float up.
Look, you
So
have no.
it's basically a magnetic based artificial gravity.
Okay. Yeah, that was wanting to make sure because again, my crew, their safety is of the utmost importance.
Absolutely. You are aware that there are other multi-racial crews and that different species obviously have different needs and stuff like that. So he's just like, yeah, no, it's fine. The effects are negligible, like within 1% of 2 of norms, which anything plus or minus 5% is considered safe.
Okay. Yeah.
This is
No,
within
that's
this is within like 1 to 1.5% of adverse effects. So like,
boy.
will it take? It might feel a little awkward, but I mean they're also used to it here on this space station. So
Awesome. Okay.
because even this is not a game. Even Ural's gravity isn't quite the same as on Earth. It's slightly off. It's not enough to be like, oh shit. But
This is
it's
true.
one of those things. It's like, this is slightly different.
That makes sense. No, it sounds about right. Oh. Ooh.
Yeah. So he does go through briefings and he's like, all right, so we're having to do a couple of systems upgrades to your ship. It's all software based, so proper foods for the Bulgarians, uploading medical information for Bulgarians. Of course, there's going to be medical staff, engineering staff, everything of that matter. A little bit of everybody and a little bit of every role. So we're doing a lot of software upgrades to the ship. That's mostly what's being briefed on. Most of these will be gone by the time you get there, but there are some points of anomalies to explore before you get towards the outer rim of known space. We've also updated some points that we know have had off-show patrols previously, so we're putting that into your ship's nav system so that you can try and avoid them. And then, like I said, just the anomalies, updated coordinates and stuff like that, because there are other space stations as well that are being constructed, and we don't want you warping through the middle of them.
That would be bad.
Yeah, from what I understand, you're fucked if you lose the ship.
Basically, yes. I'm sure there would be reasons where I wouldn't be, but yes.
Yeah. Let's see what else. There are some reports of other near space technology races that you'll be sent to explore at a later time once they determine that it's appropriate to do so.
Yeah, because that would like.
So those coordinates are going to be uploaded as well, so you can avoid them for the time being, but also know where to go whenever those times come up.
Yep, it was kind of like when we stumbled across you guys. I mean, as we already know, it was we had to interact with you because of everything that happened.
Right. He's walking you down the hallway and stuff like that. Basically, like, you all went to a briefing room and he showed you some files, but then you all just kept walking around different things. You do see that there is a giant memorial to the Foggias on the space station.
Holy crap, that thing's huge.
Yeah. You see that there's two. There's a larger one and a smaller one for body and ghost.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got a bunch of information. It's actually got like a terminal so that you can read about the Foggia's career in depth and stuff like that.
This is amazing. Like I get like why per se, because basically they perished here, but to honor them in such a way, like I bet it's nothing compared to the memorial
you actually find out that this is within within 1 light minute of where Travago was whenever the surgery was botched. Well, not botched, but you know.
Yeah. Bet it's
So,
nothing
like,
compared to the memorial you have on the ship. I mean, the ship is the memorial. So
yeah.
that doesn't.
Although to be fair, the majority of the crew survived.
Yes. Yeah,
Like,
no, that's.
I think it was like 15 that perished in the Hertz destruction. It wasn't a lot.
No, when the hurt, yeah, it surprisingly that went well.
Because it was
jettisoning
under
out the reactor core.
Yeah, it was under 200 that perished on the Venture, and it was less than 50 that perished on the Hertz. Like, but yeah, there is like a memorial area on the Travago. It's just not as great as this one.
No, I mean this would be
there's
something
a couple
that
of side there's a couple of side terminals near the mess hall with like a big plaque of the names of everyone lost on the Venture and the Venture and the Hertz, which it's not a lot of names, but this one is more specific because
it happened like right here.
Yeah.
And also they were, the Foggias were actual like Captain Foggia was captain of the Venture upon meeting them. So this is their foray into the Space Union. So it would stand to reason that they would.
You are in a very special situation where because you don't report to anyone except for admirals, you're kind of in an accelerated promotion thing. Which do you take any time to read through anything on the Foggia?
Yeah, no, I want to like take a minute to read like the entire thing. I want to see what has been said.
It's kind of long. It takes you about 20 minutes, but you do find out that Foggia did actually have pending orders. Rango Foggia, that is the captain, not the first officer.
Yes.
He actually had pending orders to leave the Venture after that mission to go into Black Site and go into an accelerated Admiralty program. So he was actually going to be, if the events of the Venture, which was the space anomaly, and the if that hadn't happened, then he would be an admiral out of Black Site.
Was he posthumously promoted to an admiral?
Yes, and not junior admiral. He was second admiral. So goes junior, third, second, first, council, chairman.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's some other ones in there, like there's command admiral, fleet admiral, stuff like that. But those are generally specialty titles. They're not like an achievable rank per se. It's kind of like General of the Army and General of the Armies. So 5 and 6 star general.
Mm-hmm.
They're there, but they're not.
Yes.
Which, yes, 6 star general does exist. There are currently 2, and one of them is George Washington, which was posthumously. But there have only been 2. And the requirements are because it's Brigadier General, Lieutenant General, Major General, then General, and then you've got General of the Army, which means you have to be set in a command for, I believe, like the majority of the Army. And then there's generally the armies, where you are set in charge of multiple countries' armies. So because George Washington commanded the French, and then I forget the other guy's name, but I believe it was World War II. He also led British
General
armies.
Douglas MacArthur, showing 5-star rank, the only other two. And then the only equivalent 6-star flag officer in U.S. military history was General of the Armies John Pershing.
Yeah, Pershing, that's who it was. I want to say it was World War II, and it was because he led parts of U.S. and British. I could be wrong.
Yep.
But I believe it's also in a state where 6-star is no longer achievable.
Correct.
But yes, man, imagine that pay scale.
Yeah. So, and on top of that, George Washington was not he was posthumously promoted.
Yes, he was posthumously promoted because that was
in 1976.
Yes, he was the second one to get. He was the second one to get General of the Armies.
Yes.
Yeah, I knew that one because I mean, but yes, that's why I was like, I know it's George Washington. One other one.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's not an official ranking insignia for 6-star general, but I believe the most widely accepted one is the Pentagon of the 5 stars with a 6th in the middle. I believe that's the most accepted one, but because like it's not a thing, it's a thing that's not a thing. There's not actually.
Yeah, it's a thing that's not a thing that was a thing that is no longer a thing.
Exactly. But I know 5-star is the 5 stars in a pentagon.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe with that one you have to command more than one branch in an operation. I could be wrong.
Either way.
But anyways,
moving on.
But yes, there are different categories there. Like I said, fleet admiral, command admiral, diplomatic admiral. There's all kinds of different shit. Bureaucracy. When reputation is everything, suddenly you need more ranks.
Yes. Yes.
But chairman admiral being the highest, obviously. So yeah, you've pissed off the highest guy in the entire army.
Fuck
he
it.
Doesn't like you.
Fuck it.
So yeah, he's just kind of. You do find out that he was posthumously promoted to. Did I say second admiral?
Yes.
Because it's junior, third, second, then admiral.
Yes.
So he was posthumously promoted to second admiral. Casper was given the rank of junior admiral, which I mean, he didn't exist before.
Yeah,
that was still pretty generous.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like making Tiny Red a commander.
Yeah. It's one of those things. It's weird because they haven't gone through it, so they don't have they shouldn't have military knowledge. But they've kind of somewhat always existed, so they do have all that military knowledge.
Kind of, yeah. Since
because like
absorbed twin.
The resorbed twin, so like Tiny Reg has outside perspective memories of a bunch of Huge Reg's childhood memories.
Yes.
Which is weird.
Yeah, it's odd.
Because it's like out of body experience memories. Kind of.
I remember when you lost your virginity. Okay, that's super weird, dude.
I remember in 3rd grade when Timmy punched you in the face and you lost 6 of your teeth, and that's why you have 6 fake teeth and why you became a bodybuilder. I don't know if that's why. I haven't written this backstory yet. Shut up.
It's now turned into canon.
I need to get this roster actually made at some point.
Yeah, you got a lot of people we gotta need make names for. We have 1,000 people that we need to make names for.
Yeah, so here's basically what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have like ship structure. So like bridge crew, then each of the segments, basically who the first officer is of each segment, and how many people are in each thing, and then as people are needed, I'll add names.
Are we gonna? It's canon in D. Yeah, we're moving on.
Oh, have you heard the Canadian brass cover of Canon?
No, but we're not going to right now because we're doing Cosmo Voyage.
I know. I'm gonna send it to you after. Anyways,
yeah, I read the entire placard and everything, and so just kind of turn them like, so what's all here?
Like on the space station?
Yes. Like what's the capabilities of this space station, of this moon?
Officially or unofficially?
Yes.
Well, it looks more like the Trade Federation space station in Star Wars.
Okay.
You know, like the big circle.
The big donut.
Except it has spires on the top and bottom.
So it looks like a top.
Kind of, but not really. It looks more like a gyroscope.
A top?
No, like the gyroscopes where you pull the string and then
I know what you're talking about.
It looks like one of those, so it's not quite a top, but it looks more like the gyroscope.
Dreidel, 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 I made you out of clay.
It doesn't look like a dreidel. That looks like the gyroscope. What does DS9 look like?
I'm gonna laugh if it looks like DS9. No, that's. I mean, that would still be a sweet looking battle station, but no.
Kind of, actually.
That does look like a gyroscope.
It looks like DS9, but it doesn't have those like curved spires.
They go up. And is it in the center? Like how to, like you say, spires?
So there are like curved bits for like docking, but they're mostly all underneath. It doesn't have the top curved spires. The spires in the center, like that tower in the center, it goes up a lot higher, and then the spire underneath is about the same as the thing underneath.
Okay.
So, anyways, he goes officially or unofficially?
Yes.
Officially, this is a way station, resupply station, refitment station, cargo bay, communications post, and observatory.
Unofficially,
it is also a spy listening post using breaking edge technology, which is why we're able to map offshows from so far away and space anomalies. It is also a place for experimental technologies that'll be implemented into black site ships eventually. It also has pretty large battle armaments that are not normally visible or perceivable. So like whenever you saw it, it did not look like it had any armaments whatsoever. And he goes, but this thing could glass the planet pretty easily. It's also actually a mobile station.
That's no moon. It's a space station.
That's no moon. It's a space gyro.
For the Space Marines.
It definitely can't go warp speed or anything like that. And it does require ships to move at a significant rate. It can get to almost warp speed, but not quite. But to get to those speeds, it would need about 5 Travagos to get to a decent speed.
Okay.
They are working on eventually maybe upgrading that. They don't really know yet. They kind of want to keep it here just because, like I said, it fluctuates a little bit, but we stay within 1 light minute of the Foggy tragedy.
Yeah, I guess for kind of with that being said, have you spoken to Minkle at all? Because that woman redesigned a ship in medbay.
So that is going to be one of the things that she will be given research projects from us to work on and then send back to us through secure transmission systems. Um, so she will be occasionally contracted to us, which is
Okay.
why we're giving her a science team.
To be able to delegate stuff to, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Kind of with that. So we're working on a thing here. We're trying to figure out how. So, because as you know, I can make portals, and just as for convenience, I bring them up, and you can transport some. It'll go in and out of one thing. Oh, and by the
sorry, I'm going to interrupt you. This is also the first time Kifei's seen you since you lost your limbs.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, you.
I mean, he knows because he's been briefed, but
yes,
like, it's one of those things. Like, he's kind of like staring at your arms and legs occasionally, like.
Fuck. So, okay, so yeah, you know, I guess first and foremost, yeah, you realize like I'm like a quarter human now,
The $6 trillion man.
basically. So yes, this arm, not human. This
Yeah,
arm's
I've read
still
the briefings.
So each of my limbs basically are powered by a small nuclear reactor, for lack of a better way to put it.
I think I called it a quantum reactor, but
Either
whatever.
way, whatever. Yeah, I use nuclear as a term that just kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I use quantum to make it sound more fancy, and so I don't have to explain how they work.
Okay, fine. I'll use quantum from now on. Fuck it. But
it's powered by Nuka-Cola Quantum. With a little bit of Sunset sarsaparilla.
Oh my god. So yeah, I can make
That
portals.
too.
I can only do about 8 feet, but what we're trying to do is make them artificially, because what we're wanting to do is we're trying to control something remotely in real time without there being any sort of artificial intelligence. Have you guys had any sort of breakthrough or knowledge in the capabilities of that?
Can't tell you.
Who? Worth shot.
Can't confirm or deny any information with transmission systems. Sorry, you don't have that clearance.
Worth a shot to.
I'll go ahead and tell you this. He just kind of like motions like this, like.
Noted.
Minkle can probably figure something out.
Oh, I have no doubt that she can figure it out. I'm just asking to see if there's any sort of insight, but I don't think I'm gonna get anywhere, so that's okay. Worst you're gonna tell me is no, and that's what you did, so I will leave it at that. Thank you.
He goes, just because we're friends, that's why I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's... I pursue no further.
Thank you. Appreciate
Welcome.
it. I wish I could help more.
You know what? And that's okay. But the thing is anything can help at that point in time, because I feel like it would help everyone that isn't Black Site.
This is like, I haven't come up with the code word yet, but this is like Vanta Black stuff out of the game.
This is GS19 security shit.
This is like Cashin's fist levels of classified.
Oh god. So yeah, no. And I mean, but you've been briefed on pretty much everything that's going on in the ship.
We do also have a present for you.
Oh, what do we got? What I like presents. What is it?
Well, I say we, but more me.
Okay.
So he kind of like looks at the window and goes, so don't freak out. He's like looking at the window.
Okay. What is it?
You see that the Travago is not docked and it's like a decent bit away from the station.
Is my ship moved?
So, like I said, don't freak out. So everything's finished with the lament. Follow me.
Okay.
Uh, quick bones. 1 through 5.
3.
3. So you get to hangar bay, and inside there is a small personal space Cadillac in
Ooh.
captain's blue.
Okay.
You know, like like ship captain blue.
Need to
With
steal the
a
Enterprise.
with kind of like burnt titanium, that like
Yes.
rainbow effect it gets,
Mhm.
with those kind of trims.
Okay.
He goes, yeah, there you go.
Thank you. I mean, like, thank you. This is
So
amazing.
from what I understand, your 3 fighters are no longer in the main hangar. You're only approved to get 2 more transports, which leaves a space available. Figured you might enjoy this. This is not military registered, so this is specifically yours. So there's no armaments or anything like that.
Damn.
Nor can they legally be added currently. But this is yours, and I did pull a couple strings, and it is allowed to be docked on the Travado.
Do you want to go for a joyride?
Because unfortunately I can't, but I figured this was a good way to surprise you and let you take it out for a quick test spin on your before you have to head out.
I mean, because I have to go dock it on my ship because it's disembarked.
Yeah, but what fun is loading it on your ship
I mean,
and then you finding it later?
I mean, true, but also
then you have to like find time to fly it while you're doing all your other stuff. So at least now you get to fly it some.
I mean, yes, I won't disagree. You're not wrong. Can I hug you?
Please don't.
Okay. I feel a little overwhelmed right now because it's just like I'm very grateful for this. Thank you very much.
So it's kind of like it's a more like, obviously, like spaceship look a little bit more.
Well, yeah, no, I figured it would be like an old like Eldorado.
Yeah,
it's a bribe. Why would someone who has higher security clearance than I need to bribe me, who is a grand counselor of their fucking race?
He's pretty high up there in his race.
I do not. There is zero reason why I would be bribed.
It is actually like the size of an Eldorado. Imagine that, but like, you know, like the bubbled like peel,
like the Batman
canopy. No, like the tiny peel, like the car company peel.
Oh yes,
yeah, like that kind of bubble dome. Jetsons kind of.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, but still fits the same styling of the Eldorado. And like I said, it's like ship captain blue, and all those chrome bits are burnt titanium. And he goes, this is kind of just a way of saying thank you for your sacrifice, because if it hadn't been for you with the Hertz incident, we wouldn't have survived. I wouldn't have survived. So this was kind of a thank you gift for that.
Absolutely. I mean, it's one of those. I mean, I'm sure, and I guess kind of taking a sidebar here. Does he know that I was basically either they join or we kill them? Is he privy to that? Okay, so he does.
Privy to that information.
Okay, that's to make sure.
Yes, he has higher clearance than you. Of course, he knows.
I-
He knows almost everything that you've done in your entire military career,
Okay. 'Cause-
other than your cock. Please don't tell him about your cock. There will be consequences for your actions.
I have no reason to.
Well, that's why I'm telling you now. But anyways, it looks kind of like that, but without the wheels.
It's a spaceship. There would be no reason.
It's got a full like mm, glass, not glass, but you know what I mean, transparent canopy that goes over it as if like the top were up, but then it like maintained that same look, and it doesn't have like the gap, like the panel gaps or anything like that. It's very seamless.
Okay. Yeah.
But
And
yeah.
I mean, since you have a higher clearance than I do, I know you know what I was ordered to do. And I really took that personally, and I did not want it to go the other route. So I am very, very happy that we got to protect your not
People.
only your race, your people, your heritage, your being, but also improve your guys's well-being at the same time.
I understand. He goes, I had a feeling something was up whenever you came back on that ambassador mission because, well, you got to think I had been first ambassador for a long time. I was next in line to become a justice guardian.
Yes.
I had picked up on some stuff, which is why I made my recommendations to former Grand Justice Guardian Clefe.
How is Plife doing, by the way?
Alive.
I mean, that's good.
That's all I can say.
Okay.
He is stationed on an existing Space Union ship, and that's all I can say.
Would it happen to be the one that rhymes with
No,
something?
no. He just says, no, it's not that.
Okay. Cool. I just was one of those. I knew he was getting up there in age because he even said it, and I just wanted to really just make sure. And I know you have the ability to probably communicate with him, but tell him I said hello and that I'm glad he's doing well.
Will do.
Thank you.
You may get the opportunity to interact with him at some point in the future.
Okay. I mean, that would be awesome. Is it the one that rhymes with orange?
It's not as closer.
There another ship? There is another ship that I can't think of.
Oh no, there are probably several that you don't know of. There are two that you know of that have the clamp dock capabilities that are public knowledge.
Yes.
Like how Cashin's fist pulled in your ship and like kind of and like did all
Mine.
that. Yeah, there are two public knowledge ships that have that capability.
And rhymes is RHYMES.
I think he was going for Rhines with orange. So, what do you do now that you've been given your Le Dorito? Because we can't call it an El Dorado, so your Bulgarian Le Dorito.
I'm going to do a quick once around.
Really? Nothing? You don't appreciate Le Dorito at all?
I know. I love the Le Dorito. That's amazing. I'm gonna do a quick once around, just kind of taking a look at enjoying it from all of the angles because it is a gorgeous piece of machinery. And so you're saying it is the same size as the El Dorado, so it is not like it is
a personal transport.
Okay.
It's a two-seater with like It does have
I
space
mean,
for like a couple people back there, but they're not
I'd say an
comfortable.
El Dorado could seat like 6.
Right, but it was also like bench seat in the back, so like
Yes.
it bench seats aren't comfortable in the back of a convertible.
Bench seats aren't comfortable, period.
I don't know. My buddy Tristan, he had an El Camino with a bench seat. That bench seat was pretty comfy.
Bucket seats are significantly more comfortable.
Oh, absolutely. But I'm saying like
you and all your special
so
lady friends.
he found his El Camino in a field, and whoever had it put in like a memory foam.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
replaced the
That's
upholstery with like
different.
memory foam in that bench seat. It was nice.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
at least
no, then I'm gonna
that's what it felt like. It was nice. It might not have actually been that, but like it.
I'm gonna go hop in this bitch and I'm gonna go drive it like I stole it.
Okay. Oh, he does say as like you're firing it up, he goes, "Oh, it's faster than it looks by a lot."
Okay. Let's go have some
He goes,
fun.
He does say, "Don't let Minkle tinker with it."
Well, I mean, other than
He
the
said-
obvious.
He says, "There's some experimental technology that can't be replaced. Could she fix it? Probably. But that is a one-off. That is a one-off ship. I wouldn't let anyone tinker with it."
I mean, I'm not gonna let anyone fucking operate it. It is mine.
He goes, "I've read Minkle's file. Don't let her tinker with it."
Hey, when she asks, I will tell her no as an order.
Okay.
She's not allowed to tinker with it as a fucking order, not a request.
Good. Have fun. Enjoy your caddy.
Thank you, and will do. And again, thank you so much for this.
I gotta come up with something better than caddy.
Yeah, because it's kind of a coined term. Chat, what do you think? What can you come
Enjoy
up
your
with?
Deci.
Deci?
Deci. Deccy.
Okay.
I, not Y.
Okay. Oh yeah, pin it. I pinned it. But yeah, so hop in it and I guess what
There you go.
the Desi Lonk El Dorhito.
El Dorito.
Yeah, Dorhito.
Dorito.
So it needs to be 2 R's. We need to do the double R. We gotta do the double R. Dorito. Yeah. Pin it. Desi Lonk El Dorito.
Yeah, Cadillac Desalonk.
Oh god.
Seems good enough to me.
Desalonk.
Look, I was coming up with something on the spot. You got something better? Fuck off.
No, I don't. I'm not complaining about the name. I'm just laughing at the name.
I feel like that's a pretty good alien equivalent of Cadillac.
It's close enough.
Desalonk.
To be noted, this is an entire work of fiction, and if it happens to coincide with anything that is in real life, we have no ties to this whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm a dumbass that makes up shit on the spot. So if I read about something called a Desalonk in a fiction novel from like 1978, I'm sorry.
With that, I'm kind of like, is Desalonk before we... Desalonk.
Did you mean Decklink? I think we're safe.
Yep. No, yeah, no results. We are safe to proceed.
If I search Dorito, it just comes up with Doritos. So I think we're safe there too.
Yep. Yep. We're good.
So yeah, It's peppy. It's quick. Like faster than the fighters.
I mean, it's smaller than the fighters, so that kind of makes sense.
Not as. I mean, like the fighters are a bit bigger, but not a whole lot bigger. Because you got to think the fighters are single seat.
Yes, but the fighters also have armor.
This is true. That one does have armor. Not as thick as the fighters, but it does have some armor to it.
So how can I test how maneuverable and what? I'm the best pilot in the fucking Space Navy.
Mm-hmm. Have fun.
How much is the initiative I get for being the best pilot in the Space Navy? What is my plus for
Whatever I feel like at the moment, I don't know.
What's my initiative?
What are you wanting to do?
Find out after I know my initiative.
I just do everything in my head pass fail generally.
I want to basically speed into the I want to come in hot and heavy. I want to test the capabilities of the machine.
Oh god. So are you gonna do like a Top Gun flyby or what?
Yes, but I also want to land it.
Okay, make a roll.
Okay, I can't make this shit up. I don't want to move it.
20.
Yes.
Okay, your flyby goes very successfully. People are like, "What the shit?"
just because I just took the picture. It's genuinely a 20.
Right. So your flyby goes really well. You're doing like barrel rolls, maneuvering shit. Make another roll for the hot and heavy landing.
15.
Okay. It's not smooth, but you don't damage anything when you land.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. No, I'm not re-rolling a fucking nat 20. Nope. Sorry.
But you do have to re-roll the landing thing because it wasn't a nat 20.
That's true. 14.
Okay, yeah, still same result.
Same, yeah, but not a 1.
Well, I rolled against you.
Yeah, what did you roll?
Don't worry about it.
No, what did you roll?
8.
Oh, okay.
A 13.
Oh, God.
Again, I don't know initiative numbers and stats. It's all pass fail in my head based on, and like I'll augment my dice rolls depending on how stupid what you're wanting to do is.
God, well, I saw a TikTok that was of a D&D thing, and it was a barbarian doing like 264 damage because they were low health and they called upon all of their initiatives and beseeched their god and rolled a natural d20, and based upon like things that were going on in the party, it like enhanced it and basically one-shot this boss.
Nice.
and the DM is just like, as he's reading it off, you can just see his like face melting of, oh my god, I cannot believe that this barbarian just absolutely decimated.
Sometime remind me to tell you about my character, Elora Lighthawk, nicknamed Biggie.
Biggie what?
Biggie Smalls.
Okay.
Is what we called her in the campaign.
Okay.
Because she was all of like 4'6" and an intimidating motherfucker. She also had a hell horse named Pock Pock.
I'm sorry. How the fuck are you gonna be intimidating at 4 foot something? I'll just pick you up and put you on the counter.
Because she was a paladin of slaughter for the god of slaughter and was eventually a prophet. And then the canon after campaign was that she killed the god of slaughter and took his place.
Okay. So you would just be a pissed off god on top of a refrigerator?
Yeah.
Oh god.
Is that character sheet gone from my phone? That's upsetting.
Say, I don't know. Is it?
It might be.
Either way, so yeah, while you're moving on, since we have set 13 minutes left.
Right. She was like 11 at the time of the campaign as well.
Jesus.
He was a catfolk. 11, like all of 4'6". Like, had some dumb as shit weapons. Ended up like bleeding the same salmon for like 9 months so that she could create, cause disease, and ended up committing regicide by infecting a kingdom with lycanthropy of salmon. She made a were salmon pandemic, and the king went, because there's various stages of lycanthropy, going from closer to human to full. Turned into a full salmon and suffocated in bed under the full moon.
It's like drown. I'm like, eh.
Suffocated in bed underneath the full moon. And that was her first miracle task for the god of slaughter. Was committing regicide by creating a were salmon pandemic. The DM was an ass and said you need eat 5 gallons of salmon blood from the same salmon. So we made a makeshift fish tank with a salmon in it. We kept bleeding it, getting it back up to health, bleeding it, getting it back up to health.
Oh god, that's terrible. That's amazing, but that's terrible.
Oh, it is.
I saw another one that was a
Walked
genie
into
is
a
gonna
bar, walked into a bar, decided to start a bar fight by throwing a javelin into someone's face while they were taking a sip of their beer. Went through the bottom of the mug, through the back of the skull.
I don't know if that would actually start a fight. I'm pretty sure that would just stun everyone into. Yeah,
It was from her homeland.
Yeah, I'm still. I don't.
Well, sorry, the area she was raised, which was basically like Mad Max style.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Anarchy, which she had joined that society because she decided at a young age to dedicate herself to Erythnal, and her first task of devotion was she murdered her own parents at the age of. It was a fun character. We were playing an all evil campaign.
Yeah, I saw a TikTok. It was a genie will grant you any ability, and I want the ability to animate skeletons. Okay. So then like goes to like time forward in the player, they're battling something, and he goes, I want to make that insert monster's name skeleton walk. And they're like, no, you can't do that because you said that's a living creature. I said I want to animate skeletons. Skeletons is not designated by being an undead creature. That just happens to be a type of undead creature. I just said skeletons. Fuck. Either way, so yeah, I land in ship, and then of course I'm assuming I'm going to have people wondering what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, they're like, what the fuck?
I got a ship, it's mine.
Oh, congrats. Don't ever land like that again, please.
Why? Did anything get damaged?
Not this time.
I mean, sure. My ship. But fine, I won't. I was just having fun.
Anyways.
So, gonna go ahead and meet all of our new crew
Yeah.
and existing crew.
Yeah, it's right at dinner time, like end of shift dinner time.
Yep. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to the cafeteria, the mess hall,
Mess hall, recreational area.
food
There's
place.
a whole lot of stuff there. Imagine like, you ever been to like one of those like malls that's like a theme park mall?
Yes.
It's like kind of like that. So it's got like a big food court area, and then there's different like recreational things like bowling and shit around it.
Okay.
All
That's some
simulators,
news. If I
etc.
knew there was bowling and shit before, maybe I would have done that instead of just sitting the freaking table.
I mean, you got shit to do.
We had festivities there. I could have bowled.
Oh, whatever.
And
There's a
this is
bowling
why
alley.
he says he's a terrible DM.
I mean, you know it now. You've been busy. You've had other things to focus on rather than bowling.
Not for festive.
Okay. To be fair, you had shit you had to tend to before and after the festivities, and during the festivities.
Fine.
Also, there was no one to work the bowling alleys. It's automated.
It's automated. Yeah. The fuck? I want a
Anyways.
12-pound ball. Magically appears.
Anyways, yeah, so they're all like kind of in that area. No one uses the damn bowling alleys, but that's kind of like there's stuff to do.
Maybe because they're old, or it's an old activity, they don't know how to work it.
Maybe.
Maybe I need.
Do you know how to work it? I don't think so.
I mean, I can roll to figure out if I can.
Roll.
I rolled a 19.
My dice keeps fucking falling off the table. I also rolled a 19, so you know what bowling is, but you don't know how to operate the automated bowling system. Fuck you.
Fuck you,
Address your crew.
Spada.
Address your crew.
I re-rolled a 13, so now I don't even understand what the fuck
You
it
don't
is.
even know what bowling is. Just know that there's different recreational areas.
Fine. So yes, I go stand at the captain's. There were the captains, the bridge crew's table, and I say, hey everybody, can I have your attention, please? I kind of want to address all of the
Clink, 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 clink.
clink, clink, yeah, clink, yeah. Except for its intercom. Everybody, shut the fuck up. I'm gonna talk.
You just did.
Good one. So as you guys all can tell, there's 348 new faces on the ship today. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that was I knew of 148, but the additional 200, welcome. I was a little caught off guard with that, but it's a good thing. They were going over it and realized that we don't have, like, it was going to be, most of those 148 were going to be security personnel, and the powers that be thought, having most of them being security personnel, when we just added on another like 200 jobs with all of the retrofitting we've done to the ship, wasn't a good idea and probably wouldn't reflect well on my captain, like my my style of running the ship. So allocated more crew. We're very happy to have you here as part of what I'd like to call our very, very dysfunctional family. And just really want to introduce myself and let you know that anytime at all, if you have any questions about anything, please feel free to reach out to me, talk to me about it. And as you can see here at this table, there are chairs in front of us that if you want to come sit down and shoot the shit and eat with us or eat with me, feel free. That those 3 chairs are always open and always free for you to use.
Someone goes, tell us how the promotion structure is going to work for the new divisions.
Fuck are they gonna work?
You tell me, Captain. How are you going to choose who gets promoted and who doesn't?
So I mean, currently right now you have your designated tasks that you have, and then you test out to get your promotions. That in itself fundamentally is not going to change because that's how the Space Union works. I overtly don't have the authority to give you or take away your rank. So, however, what I can do is I can recommend and I can submit paperwork stating that I strongly feel like XYZ person is best fit for this. Because ultimately, the decision is the people I report to, the Grand Council.
Okay. What kind of selection or interview process will there be?
Your merit, basically, your work ethic and the work that you do is going to determine whether or not you get that position.
Thank you.
Yep. Unfortunately, that is no different than any other vessel within the Space Union as far as promotions are concerned, because I have no control over that.
Understood, Captain. Commander.
Thank you. Anybody else have any questions?
Still technically Captain because you're Captain of the ship.
But yeah. I'm Captain Commander Captain. Matt Damon. Of Space Marines.
Damon.
Matt Damon.
I love that movie so
This
much.
is such a good movie. I haven't watched it in
Such a
forever.
racist movie.
Oh my god. We're going down Bakalakadaka Street.
We're going to Durka-Durkistan. Ah, Durka-Durka.
Durka jihad. Oh, I like jihad. I like balls. What?
Alec Baldwin is a What was that? The Famous Actors Guild?
Yes. There are 3 types of people in the world, Chuck. Dick, pussies, and assholes.
God, that's such a great movie.
Pussies
That's
get
like-
fucked by dicks. Assholes shit on pussies, but both of them are fucked by dicks.
Because there's only 2 inches separating the asshole and the pussies. God.
America.
Fuck yeah. Coming again to save the motherfucking day, yeah.
America.
Fuck yeah.
Lick my butt and suck on my
Oh,
balls.
my butt.
Yeah.
Terrorist, your game is through. Because now you have to answer to
America.
Fuck yeah.
So that is definitely not a part of that was totally breaking away. With that being said, let's figure. I know who we're gonna raid tonight.
That's like one of 3 movies I own on Google Play. No, hold on. 1, 2.
Do you know who we're
5,
raiding
6,
tonight?
7, 8, 9. I own 9 movies on Google Play, and one of them is Team America World Police.
That's awesome.
Do I know who we're raiding tonight? Let me take a look.
Oh no, he's not online anymore.
Who?
Gitfo was online.
Well, how dare he? Hold For the king. Is anyone playing for the king? Not really.
Meh.
Oh, there are some. No, there's not. Oh, there are. There's 4 streams. Nah. What's a good one? What's a good game that we haven't played? Is anyone playing Carrier Command 2? One person with one viewer. Let's see if they have they talk at all.
Let you figure that one out. We haven't played that game in a hot minute.
I know. And there's so many more updates to it now. I'll just say.
So I thought of something that is really random. You're listening to the Indiana Jones theme. It is there are words that you will never forget. Dr. Pepper, Mr. Pibb, Dr. Pepper, Mountain Dew Code Red. You're welcome. Yep.
Why do you do these things to me, Bones?
Because if I have to deal with it, so do you. And so do
oh
all
my
of you.
fucking god, fucking dinosaurs, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? oh my fucking god, fucking dinosaurs, Jesus Christ, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's not as good as Dr. Pepper, Mr. Pibb,
Mr. Pibb.
Dr. Pepper,
Pepper,
Mountain Dew Code Red.
Oh man. I need to send you the video for oh my fucking god.
Do they talk?
No. People, what's a game?
Forget you.
See you driving around town.
Forget you. Yep, I can't hit those notes. Celeste.
Nah, no one likes that game. Let's see if anyone's playing Lego Star Wars The Skywalker. Yeah, we'll raid this guy.
Right.
Because fuck you, Smata.
Now, with that being said, today is the 12th of October. And actually, no, this episode, this VOD, will be uploaded tonight, because all I gotta do is log in and upload. It's connected automatically. This point forward, all episodes will be uploaded right afterwards, because I don't even know why I started recording this for YouTube. I'm an idiot. I don't know either, but YouTube, you're gonna see this, and it's gonna be live because you're gonna see who we're rating too. We love you. We appreciate you. Fucking come watch us live. Go to spaghettiandnaked.store. Buy some fucking merch. Please. Please. Buy some merch.
I'll be redoing it as soon as someone buys merch.
Make him do his job. With that being said,
no one's bought merch. Why would I redo the merch if no one's bought the merch? And by redo, I mean like add new like jackets and stuff.
With that being said, don't forget your raid messages of raid your bedroom, raid your kitchen,
raid your bedroom.
It's time for spaghetti and naked.
It's time for spagooter and naked. Let me get the raid message.
There's the raid message. You want to grab the It's almost time for me to redeem our next Civ 6 game. I've actually been wanting to play Civ 6, so But with that being said, love you, appreciate you. You guys have a good one. Keep your stick on the ice.
Bye.
Bye.